Yo, what is up guys, it is MtgGalaxy here bringing a brand new video, and this video is about one of the new commanders from Core 2020. Just the weekend after Modern Horizons released to the general public for purchase, Wizards decided to start spoiling Core 2020. And regardless of these marketing decisions, may they be good or bad, let's jump into this commander, Rienne, Angel of Rebirth. Rienne, Angel of Rebirth is a new Naya commander from Core 2020. It's 2, a red, a white, and a green for a 4/5 angel with flying. She has a pseudo anthem in all other multicolored creatures you control get +2/+2, and the last ability is where we get going. It reads, whenever another multicolored creature you control dies, return it to its owner's hand at the beginning of the next end step. This final ability reads very close to the new Feather, as in if something you control dies, or in Feather's case, if a spell is expended, then it comes back to your hand at the beginning of the next end step. Although you can't generate card advantage like with Defiant Strike, getting to draw a card off the spell's cast, and getting that card draw spell to your hand at the beginning of the next end step, there are some very cool interactions we can have with some creatures that sacrifice themselves to get an effect. And these are some creatures that we're going to be utilizing in the Rienne deck tech. Well, there are a few different ways you can build this one. You can build it with like Boros Angels, basically with the green for ramp package and just good stuff. The way I decided to take this deck tech is with basically Naya Beatdown as kind of a multicolored go smash your face in, and we get creatures back if they ever die. So a question we should be asking ourselves is, why should we run this commander instead of other Naya options? We have options like Gishath, which is just ramp a ton, put out some big dinos and smash face. That seems fun. Or we can put Zakama, similarly ramping, and then basically storming off, casting Zakama, untapping all our lands, destroying our opponent's stuff. But what makes this commander special? The answer is that last ability. It's board wipe protection. In my Tana Ravos tokens deck, I run, I believe, 4 different ways of protecting my board from board wipes. I run Heroic Intervention, Dauntless Bodyguard, Selfless Spirit, and there's one from Dragon's Maze, I don't know, there's one from Dragon's Maze. And basically why is because if I shit out my hand and make a bunch of tokens, then somebody board wipes with Austere Command, Blasphemous Act, Damnation, anything like that, and all my resources are gone. I'm left 1-2 cards in hand, nothing else to do. So having a way to basically return all of our multicolored creatures to our hand in the case of a board wipe seems very valuable on a Naya commander. This board wipe issue is also the issue with Boros combat-centered decks like Aurelia. If you just expend all your resources and then somebody board wipes, you have no card draw, you have essentially no mana ramp because you're in red and white, then you're pretty much just out of the game until you wait like 5 or so turns to get enough cards in hand or creatures on the battlefield to start replenishing the boards that you had previously. The thing is, I think Boros combat-centered decks are very enjoyable to play, but they fall to the pitfall of the board wipe problem, as I call it, where you just dump out your hands because like, okay, here, I'll play a Wrath of God, and you're out of the game for 5 turns. This last ability, I think, fixes that, getting to return all of our multicolored creatures to our hand. And so the way I built this deck is, I didn't build this with a bunch of sacrifice effects involved. You can do that. You can have a bunch of sacrifice effects and just create multicolored creatures that ETB to start chaining those to value. I built this more of a Boros combat-centric deck, and kind of a Boros aggressive deck.
You know better than to recommend people play Boros decks, so what kind of scam are you running here?
Whoa, chill, have you not seen the spoiler yet?
No, I was walking by and I heard Boros aggressive list.
Well, you should probably check out the spoiler first.
Wow, that seems sweet. Carry on.
Anyways, this deck is basically a Boros aggressive list with some green splashed in there for ramp and some other utility creatures. Before we get started, be sure to leave a like on this video and subscribe down to the channel below. That would really help me out a lot in letting me know that you guys like these sorts of videos and that I should make more of them. First are the cards that when we sacrifice them, we can get them back to our hand and do it again. By far the most useless of these is Dauntless Escort. We can sacrifice this majestic rhino to protect our team, and then get him back on the next end step and do it again. Same thing goes with Loxodon Hierarch. It's a similar deal with Kasali Pride Mage. Destroy an artifact or enchantment, then just get it back the next turn and do it again. The next category of creatures we have are ones that help us in combat, either by buffing our dudes or by making it so our opponents can't do anything. We have Adriana to give all of our guys melee, both Aurelias to buff our guys and give us extra combat steps to push through damage, Lysandra to make sure that nobody can disrupt us during combat, same with Dragon Lord Jamoka and Gruul Spellbreaker. Gisela to double any damage done to an opponent and have any done to us. The new God Eternal Ronas as a finisher, doubling all of our creature's power until the end of the turn. We also run Grand Warlord Rada to give us mana all day long, Aroas to prevent attacking creatures combat damage, and possibly our best anthem, Knight of New Alara, giving all of our creatures a minimum +2/+2. Miri with Light Duelist is good for policing how many creatures can block. Noblest of War is a great attacking anthem, and Wiltleaf Liege and Xenagos God of Revels for more pump. Now that we're done with all the combat-centric cards, let's go on to some more utility cards that will help us both in and out of combat. We have On-Crop Crasher, a pretty underrated card. We just have it exert itself and we get the rest of our team back on defense. BBE because BBE. Combat Celebrant for more attack steps, Dryad Militant for stupid flashback shenanigans, Elvish Piper to cheat dudes in for the cheap, Gaddock T to disrupt our opponents, Glorious Scale Viashino's a fun one. Whenever we cast a multicolored spell, it gets +3/+3 until end of turn, so that's gonna get huge quick. The new Hero of Precinct 1 to make some more dudes whenever we cast a multicolored spell. Huntmaster of the Fells as a good multicolored card, Knight of Autumn and Vithian Renegades for artifact and enchantment placement. Knight of the Reliquary is a really nice value card that helps us fix our mana and gets big fast. Mina and Din and Sakura Tribe Elder to help us ramp and make our land drops. Samut to give all of our dudes haste and possibly untap exert creatures like Combat Celebrant or On-Crop Champion. Shalaya to give our team hexproof, Sagoda to make it so we can't sack anything, as well as being a big creature in the air. And MtgGalaxy Legion's Edge so that our team does not die to commonly run board wipes like a blasphemous act. So those are all the creatures we are running in our deck. Because we are running multicolored centric cards, we have access to 4 cool artifacts that we get to run in this deck. We have the new Glass of the Guild Pact, another anthem to our board for 2 mana, and Tome of the Guild Pact, which lets us draw off any multicolored cast we play, plus getting to tap for mana. We also run 2 older artifacts from Invasion and Apocalypse, being Dragon Arch and Urza's Filter. The Arch lets us pay 2 mana for any multicolored creature at instant speed, and the Filter makes our dudes cost 2 less. As any green deck in Commander should, we have the typical land ramp package, because lands cannot be destroyed as easily as artifacts or stuff like that to ramp. We have the casual Farseek, Ramp and Growth, Cultivate, and Kadama's Reach as our land-based ramp spells, and we also have Soul Ring because Soul Ring. For instants and sorceries, we have Finale of Devastation, Green Sun Zenith, and Eladamri's Call, the newly reprinted by the way, for tutors as onto the battlefield as well into our hand. Vivid Revival is a new one from Guilds of Ravnica that lets us get 3 multicolored cards back to our hand for 5 mana, but it does exile itself, which is a shame. This is a nice value card that we just got for this deck. We are running 2 board wipes, Blasphemous Act, which combos with the Jeek I just mentioned, as well as Austere Command. Blasphemous Act because it can be cast for the Jeep, and Austere Command because of flexibility. I like to run quite a bit of pinpoint removal spells in my decks, and this deck has 5.5. We run Beast Within, the White Beast Within, Generous Gift, and Sword Supply Shares for creature removal, and for artifact and enchantment destruction, we run Crowsand Grip because Naturalize with Split Second is great, and Return to Dust because 2-for-1s with Exile is amazing. The half piece of removal is Naya Charm that can be used to deal 3 damage to a creature, but for the most part, we're just using it as a cryptic command, tapping down all of our creatures so that we can Alpha Strike. We also run Boros Charm mainly to give our team indestructible, but if we need to, we can finish a player off if they get just low enough, or we can give something Double Strike if that pushes the last few damage through. Our land package is just the standard budget mana base. We have all 3 Ravnica bounce lands, fetch lands in Evolving Wilds, Terramorphic Expanse, Grasslands, and Mountain Valley. Since we are in a shard, we get access to dual lands of Canopy Vista, Scattered Grove, Cinderglade, and Sheltered Thicket to fetch up with the slow fetches. We also run Crowsand Verge because we are Selesnya, and Guild Mage's Forum for extra power onto our guys. Besides that, it's just 8 forests, 8 plains, and 6 mountains. As always, you can improve your mana base due to with the cards you already own and the budget you want to spend on this deck, but I think this is a pretty solid mana base to start off with. Well, that's about it for this video. If you enjoyed, be sure to smack a like on it and subscribe if you have not yet. And if you have any questions about any cards that I included in the deck, or you want to add any cards that might be better than some of the cards I put in, as always, be sure to leave them in the comments below. Thank you so much for watching. I'll see you guys all in the next video.